Hollywood has always been a hub for scandals, mysteries, and true crimes, and Diddy is far from the first to spark controversy. In fact, the old Hollywood studios were notorious for controlling, and in some cases destroying, the careers and lives of successful actors and actresses. Behind the glamorous facade of the black and white era, nothing was purely white. It was often gray and at times entirely black. Here are the top 21 most controversial Hollywood scandals that you probably didn't know about. Charlie Chaplin was monster. Did you know Charlie Chaplin was investigated by the FBI, the CIA, the Immigration and Naturalization Service, the Post Office, and the House Un-American Activities Committee? But why? Chaplin was engaged with communism, and he was also the first to introduce the casting coach to the industry. But did you know the great dictator got Chaplin into trouble? His affairs with young women, a paternity suit, getting smeared in gossip columns, and investigations into his alleged communist ties made things far worse. The FBI compiled a 1,900-page file on Chaplin. When he left America for a trip to England in 1952 to promote his latest film, Limelight, his recent papers were revoked, leading him to spend the rest of his life in exile. Chaplin was famous for his silent films and for his 1940 film, The Great Dictator, which was made the year before the U.S. entered World War II and mocked Hitler. Chaplin is a beloved figure in Hollywood history, but in his time, he was the target of investigations into his alleged communist ties. He was scandalized in gossip columns, condemned for his affairs with young women. And in 1952, on a trip to England, he was banned from returning to the U.S. and lived the rest of his life in exile. Thelma Todd was killed. Thelma Todd, a beloved comedic actress of the 1930s, was found dead in her car in a garage on December 16, 1935. Official reports claim she died from carbon monoxide poisoning, labeling her death an accident. However, the circumstances surrounding her passing have fueled decades of speculation, with many suspecting foul play. Todd was a rising star known for her wit and charm, often referred to as the ice cream blonde. But her life off-screen was anything but sweet. She was entangled in a messy relationship with her ex-husband, Pat DiCicco, and was romantically linked to director Roland West, who co-owned a cafe with her. Rumors swirled that Todd had received threats from the mob, as her cafe was in a prime location they sought to control. Some theories suggest that Todd was murdered due to her refusal to cooperate with mob demands, while others point to her tumultuous relationships as potential motives. Reports of bruising on her face and inconsistencies in witness statements added to suspicions. Roland West, who discovered her body, later admitted to locking her out of the house on the night of her death, raising further questions. Despite the glaring inconsistencies, Hollywood and law enforcement quickly closed the case as an accident, protecting its stars and the industry's reputation. To this day, Thelma Todd's death remains one of Hollywood's most chilling unsolved mysteries, a case cloaked in secrecy and speculation. Tallulah Bankhead did multiple abortions. Tallulah Bankhead was as famous inside Hollywood for her sexual activity as she was for her beauty around the rest of the world. At one point, she was said to have had 185 notches on her bedpost, and she hadn't finished counting. Knowing that the studios would not have tolerated a pregnant star, Bankhead had 4 abortions by age 30. She wasn't the only one. The studios had established protocols for this contingency and booked women into hospitals under false names for vague procedures. They were attended only by their own doctors, and visitors were strictly prohibited. Bankhead was one of the few regular visitors to the hospital. She was briefly married to a man whose proposal she accepted because he's the only one who ever asked me. It didn't last. Her promiscuity was legendary. She had affairs with men and women, often in semi-public places, and practiced opening her door to visitors naked. She is even said to have flashed the audience while performing in a Broadway play, causing a priest and 3 nuns to walk out. Bankhead is said to have regretted her abortions later in life when she found herself unable to have children due to a hysterectomy performed after she contracted gonorrhea. Alfred Hitchcock was a stalker. Alfred Hitchcock was a gifted director, but he was also rather peculiar. Though he was married for 54 years, He claimed to have had sex only once. It didn't stop him from becoming obsessed with his leading ladies, however. Grace Kelly and Janet Leigh both complained about his controlling nature. He refused to allow them to speak to other cast members or drive to the set with anyone other than him. But it was Tippi Hedren who really became the focus of his obsession. While Hitchcock was riding high from the success of Psycho, he picked the unknown actress Hedren to star in The Birds. She became an instant star, but she was also tied to a contract with Hitchcock, which left her in a vulnerable position. On the set of The Birds, the director ordered the other cast members not to speak to her or touch her. Meanwhile, he told Hedren that they didn't like her. He made several advances to her, which she rebuffed. Hedren claims that the scenes where she was attacked by birds were Hitchcock's revenge. Instead of using mechanical crows as they were supposed to, he used live birds, which were attached to her by elastic. The birds became distressed and viciously attacked her. Filming one scene with real birds attacking her in a bedroom took 5 days. Eventually, she snapped. According to Hedren, Hitchcock was so offended when she called him a fat pig and rebuffed his advances that he set out to ruin her. He would not use her again, but he refused to allow her to work for other directors. When her work on The Birds won an award, he would not allow her time to collect it. Hedren also claimed that Hitchcock actively campaigned against her to prevent a nomination for an Oscar for her role. Marilyn Monroe was a Russian agent. During the Cold War, Marilyn Monroe became a target of intense FBI surveillance. While her love affairs with powerful men like President John F. Kennedy is widely known, her connection to political issues and alleged ties to communism added complexity to her life. The FBI began watching Monroe in 1955. Their interest grew due to her marriage to playwright Arthur Miller, who was accused of communist ties. Miller had been questioned by the House Un-American Activities Committee in 1956 but denied being a communist. Monroe, who supported her husband's views and spoke openly about progressive causes, became a person of interest. FBI files revealed that people close to Monroe, including her hairstylist and therapist, reported on her activities. The reports noted her friendships with individuals accused of leftist leanings. A major incident occurred when she visited Frederick Vanderbilt Field, a blacklisted socialist writer in Mexico. This meeting, arranged by Frank Sinatra, caught the FBI's attention. Monroe's curiosity about social and political issues was genuine, but even casual associations with leftists raised suspicions during this paranoid era. Despite years of surveillance, the FBI found no proof that Monroe was involved in communist activities. Her support for civil rights and workers' rights appeared to be personal rather than ideological. However, constant monitoring added stress to her already difficult life. Knowing that her inner circle included informants likely made her feel lonely and mistrustful. Ava Gardner was Nympho. Ava Gardner was hailed as one of Hollywood's most stunning and physically liberated actresses. However, the studio system at the time often exploited such traits to market their stars, leading to rumors that Ava was a nymphomaniac. These claims were likely exaggerated by studios aiming to capitalize on her undeniable allure. Ava's romantic life was anything but discreet. She had relationships with high-profile figures like Howard Hughes, Frank Sinatra, Ernest Hemingway, and Clark Gable. Her unabashed sexuality and numerous affairs fueled the nymphomania rumors. But Ava herself often downplayed these claims, suggesting that her love for men was genuine rather than a marketing ploy. Books like Ava Gardner, The Secret Conversations, hinted at her candid and unfiltered personality. However, co-authors and insiders believe that many of these secret conversations were embellished or fabricated, casting Ava in an even more sensational light than reality. Her struggles with substance abuse and tumultuous marriages added depth to her complex persona, making her a fascinating yet controversial figure. Loretta Young and Clark Gable had a child. Loretta Young harbored a secret that shows the lengths stars went to protect their careers during the Golden Age. In the early 1930s, Young had a brief affair with Clark Gable while filming The Call of the Wild. The relationship resulted in the birth of a daughter, Judy Lewis, in 1935. However, due to Gable's marriage and the strict moral expectations imposed by Hollywood studios, the truth was carefully hidden. Young disappeared from public view during her pregnancy, reportedly staying in a secluded location to give birth. Once Judy was born, Young arranged for the child to be placed in an orphanage temporarily. She later staged an adoption, claiming Judy as her adopted daughter to deflect suspicion. The ruse was so meticulously executed that even Judy was unaware of her true parentage until adulthood. Judy's striking resemblance to Gable, particularly his iconic ears, fueled speculation for years. However, it wasn't until much later that the truth was confirmed. In her later years, Loretta Young admitted to the affair and revealed the challenges she faced in navigating the moral and professional pressures of Hollywood. Studios ended George Reeves. George Reeves was a popular Superman in the 1950s television series Adventures of Superman, but studios did not want him to be there anymore. They needed a new face. The public was used to George Reeves, so they had to do something that could kill Reeves from public minds. On June 16, 1959, Reeves was found dead in his bedroom from a gunshot wound to the head, and his death was officially ruled by suicide. However, the circumstances surrounding his demise have fueled enduring conspiracy theories, with some speculating foul play orchestrated by powerful figures in Hollywood. Reeves's career had stalled after Adventures of Superman as he struggled to break free from being typecast. Despite his success as the iconic superhero, he reportedly grew resentful of the role and the limitations it imposed on his career. Around the time of his death, Reeves was entangled in a tumultuous relationship with Toni Mannix, the wife of MGM executive Eddie Mannix. He had ended their affair and was engaged to another woman, Lenore Lemon, which reportedly caused tension. The night of his death, inconsistencies emerged in the accounts provided by those present at his home, including Lemon. The position of the gun, the lack of gunpowder residue, and the delay in reporting the incident all fueled suspicions. Some theories suggest Eddie Mannix, known for his mob connections, orchestrated Reeves's murder as revenge for breaking off the affair with his wife. Another theory points to the possibility that the studios themselves may have been involved. Reeves' frustration with being Superman and potential refusal to reprise the role could have been seen as a liability. By eliminating Reeves, studios could introduce a new actor to reinvigorate the franchise. Hollywood's first pedo. The fatal stabbing of Johnny Stompanato in 1958 remains one of Hollywood's most infamous scandals. Lana Turner, a celebrated actress, was involved in a volatile and abusive relationship with Stompanato, a mobster linked to the infamous Mickey Cohen crime syndicate. Their tumultuous affair was marked by violence and control, with Stompanato often threatening Turner's life and career. On the night of April 4, 1958, Stompanato confronted Turner in her Beverly Hills home in a violent argument. Fearing for her mother's safety, Turner's 14-year-old daughter, Cheryl Crane, intervened, fatally stabbing Stompanato with a kitchen knife. The death was ruled justifiable homicide, as Cheryl acted in defense of her mother. However, the case quickly spiraled into a media frenzy, with salacious rumors and speculation dominating headlines. Beyond the immediate tragedy, Stompanato's background raised disturbing questions. Allegations surfaced that he had preyed on underage girls, using his connections and power to exploit young women. While these claims were never formally investigated, his reputation as a manipulative and abusive figure left a dark legacy. Joan Crawford did porno. Joan Crawford was one of MGM's biggest stars. She was known to be ambitious and somewhat ruthless in her pursuit of her career. She won an Oscar for her leading role in Mildred Pierce in 1945 and received 2 other Oscar nominations and a host of other awards. Crawford was Hollywood gold. This must have made the persistent rumors that she had begun her career with roles in porn a little awkward. She is said to have starred in a film called Velvet Lips. At one point, her brother was offering copies to the highest bidder. There are no longer any copies of the film in existence, possibly due to the efforts of studio fixers employed to see that stars were not embarrassed by their indiscretions. Crawford's first husband, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., confirmed that she was blackmailed over the films, even receiving threatening calls when they were on their honeymoon. A film was sent to the studio, but the company lawyer denied that the woman in the film was Crawford. She denied participating in porn films until the end of her life. However, her FBI file, because, McCarthy and all that, appears to confirm the existence of the film. Crawford's biographers state that, a film of Crawford in compromising positions was circulated to be used at smokers. They also suggest that the file contains evidence that the studio paid Crawford's brother as much as $100,000 to stop him from leaking the film. This is supported by mysterious payments made by Crawford to the studio, which are supposedly repayment for blackmail money. Crawford's family problems continued after her death. Her daughter, whom Crawford had disinherited, published a tell-all memoir, Mommy Dearest, which depicted the star in a whole new light. Peg Entwistle was forced to do. That Peg Entwistle's death is one of Hollywood's most tragic tales. In 1932, she jumped to her death from the H of the Hollywood sign. She was just 24 years old. People think she did that because she could not find any steady roles in Hollywood. But the scene was different. She was getting good roles, but somebody was trying to control her. Studio moguls wanted something from her every time they offered her a role that she did not want to offer. But after staging everything, a note was left that said, "Tired of failing." Some believe the industry's pressure drove her to despair. Others suspect she was cast aside after refusing advances from powerful men. Her story highlights the darker side of Hollywood, where ambition often meets heartbreak. Peg's death turned the iconic sign into a haunting symbol of lost dreams. The death of Carol Landis was not natural. Everybody knew her death was not natural, but nobody could do anything because studios were powerful and they did not allow anybody to go deep in investigation. Carol Landis was a glamorous star of the 1940s. On July 5, 1948, she was found dead in her home. The cause was reported as a suicide by overdose. She left behind a note addressed to her mother. Landis had been in a secret affair with actor Rex Harrison. Harrison was married at the time. Their relationship was reportedly strained. Some say she took her life after Harrison refused to leave his wife. The scandal shocked Hollywood. Rumors swirled about the true cause of her death. Many believed the affair pushed her over the edge. Studios worked to bury the controversy. To this day, her death remains a tragic mystery. Clark Gable was not straight. Known as the King of Hollywood, Gable was celebrated for his roles and rugged masculinity. However, rumors about his sexual orientation have persisted for decades, suggesting he might have been homosexual or bisexual despite his multiple high-profile marriages. Gable was married 5 times to women, including icons like Carole Lombard and Sylvia Ashley. However, he was also rumored to have had affairs with men such as William Haynes and Rudolph Rock. These speculations were fueled by his close friendships and interactions with other men in the industry, leading to whispers about his true sexual preferences. In an era when homosexuality was heavily stigmatized, any revelation about Gable's orientation could have jeopardized his career. The lack of concrete evidence keeps these rumors in the realm of speculation, but they add a complex layer to the legacy of one of Hollywood's most enduring icons. Errol Flynn was Predator. Errol Flynn, beloved for his roles in adventure films like Captain Blood and The Adventures of Robin Hood, led a life filled with excess and scandal. Known for his charm and charisma on screen, his off-screen behavior was tumultuous and controversial. During World War II, Flynn was accused of physically harassing women at the Hollywood Canteen, a venue where he volunteered. More significantly, in 1943, he faced charges of statutory enforcement for allegedly impregnating a 16-year-old girl. Although he was acquitted, the trial severely damaged his reputation and career. Flynn's hard-partying lifestyle, including excessive drinking, drug use, and multiple marriages, became the subject of endless tabloid stories. His inability to manage his personal life led to financial troubles and a decline in his career, ultimately casting a shadow over his legacy as a Hollywood legend. Bette Davis was pure evil. Bette Davis was renowned for her intense acting style and strong-willed personality. Her determination to control her career and roles often put her at odds with studio executives, directors, and even co-stars. Her rivalry with fellow actress Joan Crawford is legendary, culminating in publicized conflicts that captivated Hollywood audiences. Their on-screen and off-screen battles became a staple of Hollywood gossip, influencing films and public perceptions of both actresses. Davis's personal life was fraught with turmoil, including a tumultuous marriage and bitter custody battles over her daughter. Her relentless pursuit of professional success often came at the expense of her personal relationships, further cementing her reputation as a difficult but brilliant actress. Rita Hayworth struggles with addiction. Rita Hayworth was a screen icon of the 1940s, celebrated for her beauty, talent, and magnetic performances in films like Gilda and CoverGirl. She became the ultimate femme fatale, adored by audiences and admired by peers. However, Hayworth's life off-screen was far from the glamorous image she projected. Behind the scenes, she faced profound personal struggles, many of which contributed to her tragic decline. Hayworth battled severe alcoholism and prescription drug addiction, a combination that greatly impacted her mental and physical health. Her dependence on substances began during her rise to fame, exacerbated by the pressures of stardom and the Hollywood studio system. Her erratic behavior and unreliability on set were a direct result of her worsening addiction. These issues strained her relationships with directors, co-stars, and studios, leading to a noticeable decline in the quality and quantity of her roles. Her personal life was equally tumultuous. Hayworth was married 5 times, including to Prince Ali Khan, becoming the first actress to marry into a royal family. Their union was highly publicized but short-lived, ending in a bitter divorce that left her emotionally devastated. Financial troubles plagued her later years as she struggled to maintain her lavish lifestyle. She often took roles she didn't want simply to cover expenses. Hayworth's addiction also strained her relationships with her children. Her daughters, Yasmin Aga Khan and Rebecca Wells, witnessed their mother's decline and worked tirelessly to support her. Despite multiple attempts at rehabilitation, Hayworth was unable to overcome her addictions fully. By the late 1950s, her career had largely faded, and she retreated from public life. Adding to her struggles was an undiagnosed case of Alzheimer's disease, which was only recognized in the early 1980s. Her condition was misinterpreted as the effects of long-term alcohol abuse, further tarnishing her legacy. Hayworth passed away in 1987, her final years spent in relative obscurity and under the care of her family. William Holden's mysterious affairs. Elizabeth Taylor, one of the most celebrated actresses of Hollywood's golden era, captivated the world not only with her unparalleled beauty and acting talent, but also with her whirlwind personal life. Over the years, she was married 8 times to 7 men, a fact that often eclipsed her cinematic achievements in the headlines. Her romances, marked by extravagant gestures and dramatic fallouts, became a symbol of Hollywood's larger-than-life lifestyle. Among her marriages, her relationship with actor Richard Burton remains the most infamous. Taylor and Burton first met on the set of Cleopatra in 1961, and their chemistry was undeniable. Both were married at the time, yet their passionate affair quickly became the subject of global fascination. Dubbed Liz and Dick by the press, their romance was a roller coaster of grand love, public arguments, and 2 marriages that ended in divorces. Despite their volatile relationship, Burton once famously said, "You don't love someone because they're perfect. You love them in spite of their flaws." Beyond Burton, Taylor's marriages to other high-profile men, including hotel magnate Conrad Hilton Jr., actor Michael Wilding, and politician John Warner, revealed different facets of her personality. Some unions were brief, such as her marriage to Eddie Fisher, which caused a scandal as he was still married to her close friend Debbie Reynolds at the time. Others, like her relationship with Larry Fortensky, a construction worker she met in rehab, showed her desire for connection beyond the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Taylor's personal struggles were as dramatic as her romances. She battled addiction to prescription drugs and alcohol, a fight that often played out under the harsh glare of public scrutiny. Her health challenges, including multiple surgeries and a near-death experience due to pneumonia, showcased her resilience. In later years, she became a vocal advocate for addiction recovery, openly discussing her experiences to help others. Despite her tumultuous personal life, Taylor's legacy transcends her marriages and struggles. She was a fierce advocate for HIV/AIDS awareness at a time when it was still a taboo topic. Her charity work, particularly the founding of the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation, raised millions and brought attention to the crisis, earning her respect far beyond Hollywood. Taylor's life, a blend of unparalleled glamour, tumultuous love, and profound personal growth, reflects a woman who lived unapologetically. Her story remains a testament to the resilience of a star who weathered every storm, emerging as a beloved icon whose influence continues to inspire generations. Burt Lancaster's extramarital relationships. Burt Lancaster was one of Hollywood's most magnetic leading men, celebrated for his powerful performances in films like From Here to Eternity, Elmer Gantry, and The Birdman of Alcatraz. Known for his physicality, intense screen presence, and ability to transition seamlessly between genres, Lancaster was an icon of Hollywood's golden age. However, behind his professional success was a personal life riddled with controversy that often clashed with his carefully cultivated public image. Lancaster's career was marked by an impressive range of roles. He portrayed everything from romantic heroes to morally complex anti-heroes, earning him critical acclaim and an Academy Award for Elmer Gantry. Yet while his talent kept him at the forefront of the industry, his private life garnered almost as much attention as his films. Lancaster was known for his numerous extramarital affairs, which became an open secret in Hollywood. His relationships with co-stars, socialites, and other prominent figures often made headlines, painting a picture of a man who lived passionately both on and off screen. One of Lancaster's most high-profile relationships was with actress Shelley Winters. Though brief, their affair attracted significant media attention, as both stars were at the height of their careers. Lancaster's charm and charisma made him irresistible to many, but his actions often strained his relationships, including his marriage to Norma Anderson, with whom he had 5 children. Despite their turbulent relationship, Anderson remained by his side for 22 years before their eventual divorce. His affairs and the resulting gossip created tension between Lancaster's public persona and his private life. While he projected the image of a devoted family man and a serious actor, the rumors of his infidelity revealed a more complicated character. Studios worked hard to protect his reputation, but the whispers persisted, occasionally overshadowing his professional accomplishments. Studios misused Judy Garland. Judy Garland rose to fame as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Her success came at a high cost. Studio executives closely controlled her life and career. Garland was placed on strict diets to maintain a slim figure. She was often criticized for her weight. To keep her working long hours, she was given amphetamines. These kept her energized for filming. At night, she was given barbiturates to help her sleep. This cycle of drugs started when she was a teenager. It continued throughout her career. Over time, Garland became dependent on the substances. Her addiction led to severe health problems. It also causes emotional struggles. She faced pressure to maintain her public image. Studios prioritized profits over her well-being. Her relationships and finances also suffered. Despite her talent, Garland's life was marked by pain and exploitation. Her story highlights the darker side of Hollywood fame, the William Desmond Taylor murder. In 1922, director William Desmond Taylor was found murdered in his home. He had been shot in the back. The crime scene was chaotic, with evidence suggesting a rushed cover-up. The case shocked Hollywood. Taylor was a respected figure, and his death drew immense attention. Many suspects emerged, including actresses Mary Miles Minter and Mabel Normand. Both had close ties to Taylor and became embroiled in scandal. Theories ranged from a lover's quarrel to a botched robbery. Some believed the studio system orchestrated a cover-up to protect its stars. Others suspected Taylor's past may have caught up with him. Despite extensive investigations, the case remains unsolved. The murder exposed Hollywood's seedy underbelly, forever linking Taylor's death to its darkest secrets. The golden age of Hollywood was not just a time of glitz, glamour, and cinematic masterpieces, but also an era rife with scandals, secrets, and personal struggles that often went hand in hand with fame. These 10 controversies reveal the darker side of Hollywood's most beloved stars, showcasing that beneath the polished surfaces lay complex individuals grappling with personal demons, societal pressures, and the relentless pursuit of success.